Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to episode 2 of the Great Labyrinth Bank Heist, which is a leverage RPG game that is set on the Artifact, a strange and bewildering giant clockwork creation that hangs in the sky. My name is Ren. I use he, him pronouns. I'm your game master for this session, or as our system calls it, the Fixer. Today, I have with me a gang of criminals, down one because Derek is sick today, but we're just going to quickly go through, introduce ourselves, and then I will shout out our sponsors, and we will get kicked off with the shenanigans of the party. So let's go ahead and introduce ourselves, everybody.
Hey, well, I am Kay Purcell, and I will be playing Alderos Wright, aka George, who is a grifter and a master of disguise. He uses he, him pronoun, he, they pronouns, and I use she, they pronouns.
Hello, you beautiful people. It is Keon, and I am excited to be here and also very nervous because we are missing a very crucial person today. But I am playing Franklin Reed, aka Toymaker. He, him pronouns, and he is our hacker of the group.
Hi there, I'm Jenny. I use she, they pronouns. I am playing Josie, or Rosie Josie, the mastermind of this group, who is simply in this operation for the game and the sport.
Awesome. I'm Raven Evermore. I am playing Jinx. I use she, Fae pronouns, and Jinx does as well. I'm also nervous about how we're going to handle a fighting match without our fighter. So it's gonna be fun. We'll see what happens.
So just quickly, we'll do the sponsors, then I'll do a recap, and then we will jump right in. So just a quick word from our sponsors, Die Hard Dice, home to the friendliest shopkeepers in the realm, carrying quality dice and dice accoutrements and accessories. Use code Nerdsmith for 10% off your next order, and be sure to let them know that we sent you. Hero Forge. Hero Forge is an online character design application that lets users create and buy customized tabletop miniatures and statuettes, releasing exciting new features every Tuesday, Wednesday for Australians, for their pro subscribers. Use the link in the chat to get your pro subscription and help support the network today. World Anvil. World Anvil is a set of world-building tools that helps you create, organize, and store your world setting. If you'd like to check all that, you can do so with a Sage membership. Check our link in the chat. That's really useful for homebrews, but also if you're writing a novel, trying to organize anything where you've got, too much to organize, really. And also a huge shout out to our artist, Jay, who did all of the busts for this stream, which is very cool, so be sure to follow them. The link is in the chat. So what happened last week? Well, we met all of our crew members, decided you were going to rob the Grand Labyrinth Bank within the next couple of weeks, because we've got some time pressure on a couple of members of our crew. We have Alderos is trying to get the money together to buy a new identity so that he can leave this life of poverty behind and establish himself as a member of the nobility, coming from somewhere very far away so nobody can double check that he is who he says he is. And Franklin is trying to organize the adoption of his younger brother before he gets sold off to work in one of the loom houses, which is not a good fate for any children. But unfortunately, what with this being a steampunk Victoriana setting, it's not very kind to children generally. Lots of child labor, poor houses, work houses, etc., etc. As we heard before, Rosie Josie is just in it for the love of the game, but has recently found out that the people who guard the Labyrinth Bank might be connected to her in some way. And Jinx is just here for a good time, not a long time. And everyone here is pretty, so that's why she's involved. So having all met each other, they decided that they needed to get some money together so that they could open a fake bank account and get a chance to scout the bank out. And in doing so, Jinx mentioned that she had a connection with a member of the Skeleton Clique, which is a rather savage gang made up of a group of cannibals who run underground fighting rings. So she went to speak with her friend Christian, who agreed to sign Giolo up for one of these underground fighting rings tonight at midnight. She got a password to say. Christian mentioned that they would be there this evening if you so wanted to talk. And that was where we left things. So you've got a password, you've got a place to go, you've signed Giolo up to go, and unfortunately, as we come back to Franklin, who is helping adjust some of the gears and clockwork on Giolo, trying to get them set up for the best possible win, Giolo makes an alarming clunk noise, and all of the lights go out behind their eyes.
Franklin's gonna smack Dulo a little bit. Like, this is a what? Dulo?
There was no response.
And,
Well, that's not good.
I'm not sure what happened. It looked like everything was going fine, and now it is not.
Give me a hacker intelligence check.
Beautiful.
So let me tell you the DC you're rolling again.
Please and thank you.
You are rolling against an 8.
Does a 17 do it?
It do. So you go into Giolo's like mechanics and wirings and find essentially the restore to factory settings, which is fine. You know that Giolo's personality, his memories, all of that is encoded into their factory settings. Mm-hmm. So hitting factory settings just means that it will be 24 hours before they reboot. But it will definitely get them up and running again because you don't know what you hit.
Okay. Could I piece together that this is probably like their weekly or like monthly cooldown or like reboot session? Or did I fuck up?
It's not necessarily that you fucked up, it's that you also did repairs on them this morning. And you think that perhaps just that plus the aftermarket accessories you were trying to install like overheated and they just need to cool down, reset, and they'll be fine.
Okay. So we have a little bit of an issue. I may or may not have overheated Dulo with the augmentations from this morning and today. And I believe they might be out of commission for today's fight.
I think that's more than a little problem.
That's quite a big problem. I would not want to meet your friend in a bad situation. I've already lost one arm. I don't want to lose another.
Yeah, she
at
can
this
be
point,
kind of
it's
scary.
about 10:30 p.m.
Probably won't be back up and running until tomorrow, maybe tomorrow night.
Looks all the way down at Jinx. And you did this setup with the skeleton click?
Yeah.
Just starts pacing.
Anybody know a good fighter that we could hire for future payment?
George, you have a lot of muscles, dear. Wouldn't you be good for taking their spot?
I'm not. I'm big. I'm not. I can look like a fighter. That's all I got. These hands, Taylor.
Yeah. I'm good at getting... Sorry, go ahead.
We just see the camera zoom in on George's hands, and we can see that he has never worked a day in his life. They're like perfectly manicured, very soft, like slender fingers.
It's definitely like there's calluses where the sewing needles have poked into the finger pads, but yeah, it's.
I'm pretty good at not getting hit, but and she like holds up her arms like with the muscle flex, and there's like nothing there.
Has to bend down to pat. Like, no.
Okay.
I think your friend would kill us if we put you in the ring.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she probably would. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
How about you, lady in charge?
What's going on, boss?
I'm a rancher, or I used to be. I'm not the strongest, but I do know where to hit people.
Is there a
Clockmen, not so much.
Is there a rule against riding a mechanical horse into this fight? I don't know these fights. I don't go to them.
Should I be able to use glitch, I might have a better chance. But if there's no one else better suited to it and it's something we're locked into,
I would
I'll
say
throw my hat in.
you, Franklin would know the most about these fights because Duolo does underground fighting occasionally, even if not usually to this extent. They are usually no weapon, besides like if you pick something up in the ring. The fights Duolo usually does only go to like first blood or unconsciousness or like until someone gives up. You know that this fights the skeleton clique does are to death. You have to kill the other person.
Okay. My dear, I don't think we'll be able to use, you said the name is Glitch? Yeah. I don't think Glitch will be able to be used unless they jump into the ring and start kicking everyone in there.
You might do that.
That's an idea.
The really important question is, will the skeleton clique consider that cheating?
If they know that we had a hand in it, absolutely.
How about that arm of yours? Can any of those upgrades go on that arm?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask that. They can, absolutely. I'm not the fighter in this equation, that's more Dulo, but I know my way around hitting. Probably just a little bit better than you.
We know that this fight starts at midnight. I am assuming that whatever dive this is taking place in is going to be open early to build up hype and place bets, correct?
Correct.
So you guys were told that it is under the tattoo shop on a particular street. Let me just find that particular name for you. So it's on Walker Lane. So under the tattoo shop on Walker Lane, you've been given a password to say to get yourselves let in. But the fact that it's in a basement does mean you probably won't be able to get a horse down there. They'll definitely be open before the fights start. You also don't know where in the rankings Dulo is. Like, will they be fighting first? Are they later in the bracket? Because it is like multiple fights.
From what Dulo has told... Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Okay. From what Dulo has told me, would I know how to get the information on the bracket? Would I know if it's written on paper or if it's like possibly wired somewhere?
So it's usually controlled by the MC. Because you guys haven't attended one of those fights before, it's very much you'll go and do what you're told because you don't have any standing to be like, I want to fight first, I want to fight here or there. That'll be the people who have participated multiple times who can start asking for that. So Julo in his normal circles could ask and be like, I want to fight first. Or I want to fight last. And they'd probably go for it because the wrench is considered like quite a good fighter generally. But this is not their usual stomping grounds. So
I think Al will look at Josie and be like, I think we should get there early. Talk. Look.
That's what I was
thinking. See what we
thinking.
can figure out.
Jinx is going to like kind of point above their head as if they literally had a light bulb show up over their head. There's not one, of course, but that's like basically what she looks like. Oh, I had an idea. I saw this old play once where they were gonna fix a boxing match, and they like soaked one of the gloves in that stuff that the people with the knives, surgeons, what they do to make you like pass out and not wake up while they're doing the cutting part.
You soak it in chloroform?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Ether at this time.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think it was something like that. Anyways, we just soak that in your glove, and then when you can get in really close, and you can just like shove the boxing glove into their face, and then they pass out. Looks like you knocked them out.
That sounds great in theory, and I do appreciate the input that you brought. However, I'm not particularly fond of cheating this skeleton gang, like whatever the fuck.
We'd have to be sneaky about it. Yeah.
I don't really want to fuck with cannibals, my love.
Fair. And on top of that, this really isn't the type of fight where boxing gloves are involved. The goal is not to save the opponent, it's to end the opponent.
Oh, right. The whole fighting to the death thing.
I'm pretty sure it would have to stay at their nose for a very long time.
Plus, if it's fighting against a Clockman, that's not going to work.
But good thoughts. Good thoughts.
Franklin is gonna start like looking around the room and just like picking up little pieces and like nuts and bolts and kind of like looking to see what he can augment onto himself. And because typically with his Clockman arm, he keeps it like gloved. So I would like to see if I can put spikes on my knuckles.
I think you definitely can give that a shot.
Okay.
It's not going to be an easy augmentation to do because your hand is more made for fine detail work rather than hitting things really hard.
Right.
But I'm setting your DC using 2d8s because I think this is a more difficult situation. You're also under quite the time pressure.
Is there any way we could like help?
How?
With Josie being a rancher that primarily uses clockwork animals, she probably would have had a lot of experience fixing up that kind of stuff.
Oh, Jinx could probably help too. Like one of her, what were they called? Specializations, or where we got to pick a word for it, is MacGyvering. Yep. So literally like making things that don't go together work together.
Fair.
I'll let you lend Franklin your D6 for that specialization, if you would like. Is Rancher also a specialization that you have?
Yes.
You can do that. Just remember, you only pick the 2 highest dice rolls to look at for this. Okay. So you can borrow a D6 from each of them to add to your dice pool, but just pick the 2 highest dice and tell me what they add to.
Okay. So is it just my hacker and intelligence?
Yeah,
plus those
hacker,
2?
Intelligence, and those 2 D6.
Gotcha.
And you are in your Toymaker's flat, so you can also add your signature asset there.
Praise.
Just remember, the more dice you roll is also the more chance of rolling ones.
Right.
And ones give me complications to throw at you later.
Oh, of course. And you mentioned that, and I roll a 1. Thanks.
Yeah, rolled a 1.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
the DC you're trying to hit is a 14.
Okay, hold on. I still have to roll 1 more of these, so. Okay, cool. I just need 2 more, please. Okay, 16.
16, all right, so you've done it.
Yeah, with a 1 on top of it.
I am writing down loose bolt as a complication that might come back to bite you later.
Gravy. As Franklin is doing this, he's like, I understand that we may not have a choice, but I would like to not get in the ring if at all possible. So if we could figure that out. And he's like,
if we can't find someone, that can cover in a better way, it'll be me. Y'all have people that clearly you care about. If I go out just infamous back where I'm from, whatever.
I like a leader who takes responsibility, but isn't that defeating the purpose?
What do you mean?
If you die in the ring, you lose here. What you're looking for, you don't get.
I've already gotten past a lot of security. I've already stolen from all the banks back where I'm from. I've gotten the good hits. I've had my name thrown about everywhere. I came here because there was nothing else for me to do. There was no other score. If I go out just infamous there, whatever. Y'all have people and shit to live for, right? All you got friends, people you care about, or at least goals. For the most part, I've gotten mine. This one's just the next step. So if anyone's dying, it'll be me. Sound good?
Do you want to look more threatening or less?
She's gonna kind of like tuck her hair a little bit in front of her face, hiding that eye. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just the sweetest little thing you ever did see. I don't know why anyone would want to hit me.
I think I can play this up even more.
Sound good?
Fair.
But just in case there are different things that we're missing and there is someone that's more suitable, we should still try to figure out exactly what's going on.
Absolutely.
I'm not particularly keen on dying, but we'll see what I can do.
We should get there early and start scoping out.
Sounds good to me.
But
We should probably leave now.
It is about 11 o'clock.
We have to make a quick detour because we have to make you look even more helpless.
Sounds good to me.
So where are you off to?
Al's gonna
Rose?
take her back to their flat.
Is now really the time?
Why not? If I'm gonna die, I might as well get some.
They're gonna go have a conversation.
Are we just gonna let them leave, Jinx, or are we going with?
Well, I guess we could go.
Was this a
Get
solo
there
invitation?
I don't know, but we could like go check out the place while they're doing that. See if there's anything we can use. Since we only have like, and she looks at the still broken pocket watch because we still have we don't have a lot of time.
Do you want me to fix that for you later?
That would be great. I am terrible at keeping track of time.
Okay, fair enough. If we make it out of here alive, drop it off in the morning.
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right. So let's quickly handle Aldrose and Josie, and then we will do our scouting there. So headed to your little flat. Would you like to give us a quick description of what it's like?
Yeah, it is this sad little hole in the wall up a creaky flight of stairs that was probably more of a fire escape than a staircase. Like, it is tiny and it is filled floor to ceiling with clothing. There is like a one of those dividers so you can hide, you can change clothes, and just clothing everywhere. There is a bed that is like a single a twin bed that is definitely too small for Al. and just clothing of all styles and fashion. There's one sad little light bulb, one great big mirror, a small vanity with all sorts of cosmetics so that they can make themselves look however they need to, wigs everywhere. And yeah, he'll open the door and step in and can just barely get in enough to hold the door open. And
Those sidles past a pair of wardrobes.
yeah, it's kind of a mess, but it can't not be a mess.
I don't blame you.
How do you feel about pink?
Not my favorite color, but I'll take it.
Pale blue?
Sure.
And we'll just start going through a wardrobe, and like skirts and pantaloons start flying. It's just digging out clothing that they clearly know has been there for ages. And I don't know if you have brass knuckles or anything, but we could potentially hide those under a glove. I don't know what you're thinking.
That would technically count as weapons, though, wouldn't it?
Only if they find them.
Once again, not too keen on cheating.
It's fair.
My upgrades I'll be using, but those are a part of me. Knuckles, not so much.
They can't exactly take those from you. And comes out with just this flowy blue skirt with like white lace peeking out underneath, a little like not corset, but a little like tank top, and just this really fluffy, innocent little outfit. It's like, don't think it's your style, but it's certainly going to throw them.
All right, I'll take it.
They have a matching ribbon if you want to go too far, and we'll hand it off and motion to the divider.
Sure, let's do it.
So thankfully, you will note as you are getting changed, a lot of Alderosa's clothes seem to have like adjustable things so that you can very easily change the fit of it to fit. You've also seen there's like a big container full of different sizes of like paddings of different things. So it seems like he's got everything set up for, okay, and today I have to weigh twice as much as I normally would, and I need these clothes to fit. Today I need to look this shape, and I need these clothes to fit. So everything is very adjustable.
Very specific stitching.
Yes. So we get Josie come out looking like an ingenue. A wide-eyed young thing. I believe she's a bit older than the rest of the party from the description before. Yeah.
How'd look?
Really?
I'm getting flashbacks.
Again, I don't want to be rude, but if we're keeping up the look, I can potentially disguise some of the scars to help sell it. And we'll kind of motion to the vanity and start pulling out creams and powders and set to work.
Fantastic. Give me a grifter alertness to see how much attention to detail.
Okay. Do my fashionable clothes count?
They do indeed.
Does my disguise count?
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Oh, I also have fashionable as a distinction, but I think this is the opposite of fashionable.
Yeah, and this isn't how does your knowledge of fashion help you?
Yeah.
Oh, you will be rolling against a very easy DC of 4.
Just rolled and my D10 landed on top of my D6. Oh, okay. Well, that's a 22.
Yeah, easily.
None
Josie,
of your
you
rolls
look
were
in the
a
mirror.
None of your rolls
cannot
were a
even
1, were they?
recognize yourself. No, it's a pair of 2s.
Cool. Had to ask.
Yeah, for sure. So, Josie, you look at yourself and you can't even recognize yourself in the mirror. You look, about 15 years younger. Your eyes look like they're twice the size. Somehow they are sparkling, like, not eyeshadow, but like your eyes themselves are like sparkling as if you're right on the edge of crying. Which obviously you are not. Alice, like, shifted the shape of your face So you look like this very young, innocent, like waifish sort of a creature, which is not something you've ever seen on your face before.
Well done.
Well, good.
I'd
base to
steal
work
from
with.
me.
And we'll just kind of ever so slightly adjust the hair across the face. The nod and step back.
There are so many hairpins in your hair right now, Josie. You don't think it will
yeah.
move for love nor money.
Uh-huh. What she's gonna do is she's gonna stand up. She's gonna grab Al by the front of the shirt, kiss them, go, "Thank you, darling." So, we should get going, yeah?
Probably good. I don't know how Jinx doesn't get killed, but I would like to be there to make sure she doesn't get killed.
That's fair.
With that settled, let's jump over to Jinx and Franklin not getting killed.
Not getting killed. This is a good plan.
I
That's
can
a whole
promise that
idea.
much at least. As you walk up, you will not die.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
As you walk up, I make no promises for once you're in. So heading to Walker Lane, it is in fact not deep in Skeleton Cliff territory, but on the border where they border Rat House territory. The tattoo shop you've been pointed towards is a skinny, tall thing with faded flash sheets in the windows and heavy circus-type font above that reads "Tattooing" in faded gilt lettering. It's on the corner of an alley, and off to the side you can see a cellar door and a heavy wooden chair that's clearly been moved outside temporarily. Seated on that chair, sort of kicked back with their legs up on a fruit crate, is the bouncer. It's a man in his late 20s, heavily muscled, heavily built, long greenish black hair that's been pulled back. So they've got locks and it's been pulled back in that kind of lock ponytail look. Absolutely crawling with tattoos on all visible skin. They don't just cover his hands and his arms, but they go up his neck and some reach onto like the edges of his face, including several marks and lines on his face, a line over his nose, 6 little marks around the corners of his eyes, and a word that is taking the place of a shaved eyebrow, sort of filling in that area. It just says "hungry" in all capitals. As you approach, he grins, showing off sharpened teeth, the same kind that you saw on Christian when you went to the Queen's Head.
Did you? I cannot remember for the life of me. Did you give us an actual password last week,
I
or
did.
was it just?
I did, yeah.
I cannot.
Do you know
remember
what the password
it was.
is?
I do not.
All right,
been a hell
give
of a
me
week.
an intelligence. Give me an intelligence grifter.
All right.
Is there any way
This
I
isn't
can
going to be
help?
hard because I
Okay.
literally told you this. I'm just going to roll 2d4.
That's a
to
5.
set
There
your
were
DC.
There were no ones.
Okay, well, I got a 4. So with a 5, you remember that the password was Death's Head.
That's right. I knew it was something really cool. I think Jinx is gonna kind of do like the stereotypical bisexual finger guns at the bouncer and be like,
He looks
Did you say-
confused.
"Did you say death face?
Death's head.
Death's head."
Did I say
Um,
Death?
I 100% see Jinx walking up. Death's face!
It's basically what she's gonna do. She's like, "Death head, how's it going?"
Yeah, all right, I guess. Do you know why you're here? He says, sort of looking at the two of you. Because you are not the usual
You
crowd.
know what? Fair.
Just here to watch right now.
Oh, are you here for the band?
No.
Oh,
If by
all right.
band you mean the murderating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
well,
sure.
there's also a band. You know, we do a couple of things.
Multifaceted.
Yeah, you know, I do eat people. I paint watercolors.
That's
Got to
good.
diversify your portfolio.
You know,
Okay.
you can't just be one thing in this modern world.
It's true, and a lot
It's
of people,
1845. A man can have multiple interests.
yeah, because like too many people are like, "Oh, it's a skeleton clique. They eat people," but that's not like your whole identity. Like you have other interests, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like watercolors.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Franklin has not swallowed since we walked up.
Yeah. Jinx is just, really chill, in general, but also oblivious. So she does not understand the danger that she's in right here.
Your best friend is a cannibal. You don't understand danger at all.
So he'll just sort of gesture you through the cellar door. And as he leans back, what dice do each of you have for alertness?
Alertness, D10 for me.
10 as well.
Decent. So both of you will notice that sort of leaned back next to the chair is a piece of wood that has quite a lot of very long nails driven through it, that is placed in such a way that he could very easily grab and smash on anyone coming up. But he is sort of relaxed back once you gave the password almost. Yeah. Neither of you are in danger of getting hit around the head.
That's good.
Cool.
All right. Well, have a nice night.
Thank you. You as well.
Keep
And
painting.
like, good
Sure,
old flower.
yeah.
And like as we're walking through, I would like to get an eye on like the security systems and like who's got a gun, who's clearly here to be like muscle if anything goes bad.
Yeah. So you go down several floors of stairs. This is something that hasn't come up yet in-game, but the artifact is made up of multiple layers of machinery, which means that rather than building up, most people build down, deep into the clockwork. So you find yourselves zigzagging down about 6 flights of those sort of rectangular industrial metal stairs that you might find inside a factory or inside of even an office building in certain parts of town, before you come out amongst a whole bunch of covered crates and sacks that seem to contain mostly things like alcohol or like ingredients for some sort of thing that you have to push through before the cellar opens up. And once it does open up, you find yourself stepping into a wall of sound. So Franklin, you'll immediately clock they have soundproofing.
Okay, that's not good.
The ceilings are low, the walls are slick with condensation, and the crowd is thrumming, seemingly split sort of 3 ways. About half of them are gathered around not a stage, but just sort of an area in the corner where there is a 6-piece band, and there is that lively, think like that Below Decks Titanic type music. Like lots of people dancing, having a good time. That's sort of one section of this cellar. Then there is a bar with 6 bartenders of various types, serving, hundreds of people coming out to the bar. They seem to be serving everyone the same thing. It comes out of a massive barrel. Like they just dip a cup, fill it up, send it over. And people are passing over coins in return for this stuff. From here, you can't tell what it is, but a lot of people are drinking and they seem to be enjoying it. Finally, what you came here for. There is a ring marked out on the ground. It is honestly, it's a dip about 3 feet down to this fighting area, which is full of sawdust. The sawdust is bloodied already. So you can see there's currently a fight going on. One woman is currently beating another. The loser is already unconscious. The winner has blood streaming from a broken nose and is currently staving in the loser's head with a brick, which seems to have come loose from that ring around the fighting area. There is no sign that she is stopping any time soon. So this is your first impression as you step into this room. And also the temperature is like a solid 10 degrees warmer than it was outside. Just from the sheer number of people in here. Just looking around, you would guess there's maybe 200 people in this space.
It's quaint.
It's quite, yes, quaint is the word I would use. And
Glad I'm
Franklin's
not
gonna
the only
kinda,
one.
like, motion towards the ring and the one getting, basically doing the ass kicking. Do you think that Rosie would be able to take them at all?
I mean, maybe in a shootout.
Yeah. Whatever planned, I hope that this works for them. Cause
Yeah. I try to be hopeful, like, really optimistic, glass half full, but I'm starting to worry about the rest of the evening.
The stairs are soundproof, so no one can hear anything that goes on down here. And it looks like everyone here, before I say this, does everyone around look like they are a part of one of the gangs?
Most of them. I'd say it's maybe sorry, I'm about to cough.
Oh no, you're fine.
You'd say that this crowd is probably a 60-40 split of skeleton clique, everybody else. Of the everybody else, the people who have come are not necessarily wearing identifying marks.
Okay.
So it's difficult to pick out immediately. But also, that like certain demographics in this town tend to hang out with certain groups. So you can sort of point out and be like, oh, that guy's got like their head shaved on one side and their hair's dyed in a particular way. That means he probably hangs out with the rat house. Like that's sort of how they all do their hair, even if he's not currently wearing like gang colors and things like that. Like you're very alert, you're pretty on top of things, and your job is information gathering. So you are able to pick out a few people and be like, that guy's from this gang, that girl's from that gang, but they're not here representing those gangs tonight, if that makes sense.
Got it. Looks like a lot of people are here on their time off from their day job. But their day jobs tend to involve a lot of bloodshed, crime, so it's a good thing that Rosie doesn't want us to cheat here.
I mean, yeah, but also would not be great if our the brains of the operation got, well, what's happening to that brain?
Yeah, so with us being here, main goal is to make sure we get as much information as we can so that they don't end up with like no brains over there. Yeah. Okay.
Good call.
So,
At
is your
this point,
friend here?
You hear a horrifying crack noise from inside the ring, and then a man steps into the ring, and a microphone descends from the ceiling. Like a very old-fashioned, like radio announcery microphone on a lead drops from the ceiling, and he grabs it. This is a man that Franklin will immediately recognize. He's fairly tall, maybe 6'2", 6'3". Not necessarily like conventionally handsome, but definitely charismatic in the way that he carries himself. Dark eyes, high cheekbones. And as he steps into the ring, he's wearing not the all black of the skeleton clique, but instead a fairly bright red suit with a black shirt underneath. And you can see just from the way the suit sort of bulges and moves, he has got a lot of weaponry under that thing, concealed in various ways. And as he reaches up to grab the microphone, you see that he also has a clockwork hand, very similar to the one that Frank. So he reaches up, grabs the microphone, says, all right, that seems like enough here. She is definitely dead. Congratulations. Excellent job, Marjorie. You will be walking away with your money. You step over to the ring attendant and he will get you sorted. I hope everyone is having a great night here tonight. And sort of the crowd goes, oh, fuck yeah. etc. We've got a good slate lined up. That was just our usual audience participation round. I'm sure Marjorie is happy to be walking away with some spending money for the evening. Now, I'll just remind you that our billets are going to be laid up behind the bar so you can check who's on the slots and who's going to be fighting who. You want to lay a bet? You find me, you find the ring manager. We will look after that for you. Bets will be paid out at the end of each fight as the corpses hit the floor. And again, there was like a roar of applause and happy noises. All right, so first up on the ring, we have, and he sort of flips through a little notebook that he pulls out of his pocket. We've got Jeremy versus, oh, well, that's an unhappy name for you to be running into, isn't it? The Destroyer. Closes the book. A Clockman steps into the ring from one side. It was being painted matte black and has a pair of angry eyebrows stuck on top of the same sort of blank, round, golden gaze that every Clockman has. Except he's got like a pair of white, angry eyebrows that be painted on to change the look. And then Jeremy is apparently a fairly big guy, that sort of muscle where there's a lot of fat over the top, but that doesn't mean they're not incredibly strong. Like the strongman build rather than bodybuilder, if that makes sense. And he steps in and he sees the Clockman and he does not look phased. He is busy wrapping his hands with like bandages. And as he sees that it's a Clockman, he pulls out a length of like chainmail type looking stuff and wraps that over the bandages. To which the announcer goes, yeah, as per usual, if you're dealing with a Clockman, barehanded does not apply. I want to see some oil hit the floor. And again, the crowd roars in approval. He steps back out of the ring, and you see him sort of make his way over to the bar. Like he's actually paying close attention to the fight. And the fight starts.
So, I think that while all of this was going on, Franklin had like turned his back towards the ring at first, but the second he heard the voice, his head like whips around towards the ring and just, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that this is Kelly.
This is Kelly, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this does make sense. He told you that he was getting out of his current line of work. He was like, I'm not fucking with that anymore. It got me in prison. I'm gonna find a different job. With an air of like, please don't leave me. I swear, I won't be going back to prison. This clearly didn't work. But it does seem like he was telling the truth. He's still doing illegal shit, but a different kind of illegal shit.
He was also supposed, I'm saying this out loud, he wasn't supposed to be out yet. How the fuck did he get out already?
Who are you talking about?
The announcer.
Just give me an alertness and a hack roll, please.
Oh no.
Was that for both of us or just for Franklin?
Just for Jinx. Franklin, could I get a grifter and a vitality from you, please?
Oh, great.
And hacker. It's a grand total of 10 no ones.
That's an 8 no ones.
Okay. So, Jinx, just your natural like eye for valuable things. You will go, I've seen Franklin's arm quite in detail when I was helping him MacGyver the arm. That guy's arm is the same make and model, which is almost impossible unless the same person made it.
So I'm guessing you know the announcer, and your arm is the same as their arm, which is, what's up with that? I'm gonna be nosy.
Fair. I guess if we're gonna be doing a job together, you should know a little bit more. That fuckhead is my ex.
Ooh. Awkward.
And very, and he's the reason that I was in prison and the reason why I even need to do this job in the first place.
Oh, okay. So we won't have any problem stealing from him, right?
I would prefer to kill him, but that's not up to me.
Well, that'll make my job way easier.
I am trying very hard not to storm over there and cause a scene, but it is getting very, very hard. I think it is best that we stay away from the bar, or me and him end up in the ring.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out for him, and if I see you you're gonna interact with each other, like run across each other, I'll give some sort of signal, like a bird sound or something.
Thank you. Also, try not to steal from him. He tends to keep a lot of explosives on his person.
Okay.
More than that, Franklin, you would know he tends to lace his pockets with explosives, so if you don't hit the right switch as you go in, it will singe your fingers.
Yeah. He taught me how to make a couple bombs and things. The trick that I was using on Dulo earlier, I actually learned from him. But so please, he's not to be trifled with, especially not here if he's in with your friends.
Okay.
Actually,
good. Noted.
Because he's in with your friends, maybe Christian might be it. A job and a job is always a bad thing to do. Do not do a job and a job. Okay.
I mean, done a couple like that. But yeah, Cece said she was going to be here, I think.
I like this idea. Okay. So yeah, let's get a little information for now. And I'm going the complete opposite away from him.
Okay, so you're headed towards the band.
Yes.
Yep. As I said, it's like a 6-piece band, upright double bass, some violins. There's a torch singer, if you know the phrase. So a sexy lady in a low-cut dress who is singing the equivalent of like Fever by Peggy Lee, like that sort of a vibe of song. So things have sort of changed gait, and now there are a lot of like couples dancing together while other people are like, I'm going to use this opportunity to go get a drink and complain about my love life. So it's a little less frenetic over there, but it seems like the band is always there, and they're changing out like who's singing for a couple of songs, and then someone else will come up and the genre will switch a bit. The band stays the same, the songs are different.
As we get over there, I think seeing that Jinx is actually going to ask Franklin to dance. So she'll turn to him and look, I think, up height-wise.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. It's like, so one thing that I do when I'm trying to see, if I can steal something from a place, if it's a fancy party, dancing's a really good way to kind of scout out everything without drawing attention. Would you want to dance with me?
Be forewarned, I have 2 left feet, so as long as you're leading, I'm 100% here for it. But if I step on you, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I'm pretty quick with moving my feet out of the way. I can lead. Okay. And yeah, like, she'll take Franklin's.
Trying to figure out.
Yeah, she'll take Franklin's hand and just like, no problem at all, just starts leading the dance.
Yeah. Jinx is a great dancer, it turns out. You have absolutely no issues, Franklin. As she moves the pair of you around the dance floor, sort of wending between all of the couples, which is letting you get a good view of the sort of people who are here.
Got it.
The age range sort of goes from about 16 to maybe early 50s. The older they get, the more like criminal the vibe is that they give off. Like, you're getting more of the old guy at a punk show where you're like, yeah, this dude has been a punk since he was 12. He's not leaving just because he's old, kind of a vibe. Whereas the younger people are like dipping their toes in. Am I into this? Is this what I'm going to be doing? If you kind of get that vibe, like, it's very basement punk show, but more lethal in terms of the energy you should be thinking.
Okay. So, like, while we're dancing, Franklin's gonna ask, so you're trying to get info on people, correct?
Yeah, I'm looking to see. I'm basically looking around to see who's looking around, who's noticing things, who's. Hold on, dip, and then she'll do her best to dip.
Amazing. Could I get a thief alertness from you then, please?
Absolutely.
So this will be picking out information that would be useful to you as a thief. If you want more of a like, what's the social situation here, that would be a grifter alertness. The physical setup is more of a hacker alertness, so you sort of got options.
Okay.
Or if you want who's the most dangerous person here, that would be hitter alert.
I like the thief line of thinking there, because Jinx basically looking for.
10.
Oh, perfect. That's actually what I got.
Fantastic.
7 and a 3.
7 and a 3.
So she's looking around for who's paying attention to other people. Like, if something does go sideways, which people are likely to be the ones that are going to get in the way or impede their escape.
Okay. So we've not run into a draw yet in this system, which means I get to introduce you to a fun new mechanic. So when you draw or fail, because a draw is a fail in this system, you can do something which is called raising the stakes, which is I re-roll the DC, I get to add another dice to it because this is making things more high tension, because you're doing something that means if you fail, it'll be worse by some amount, but if you succeed, there will be a bigger payoff. So it's up to you if you would like to raise the stakes. You'll get more information, but if you fail, the consequences will be more. So right now, the consequences would just be, you might have someone be like, oh, she's clocking, like she's looking around the room, and you don't get the information. If you decide to raise the stakes and then fail, it might be like, you gave the wrong person the stink eye, and now they are like, I don't like that girl, and will come over and might make a problem.
Okay. Yeah, and I still roll the same thing, right?
Yes, so you would still roll this.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right. So I rolled 2d6 to set the stakes last time. I'm going to add an extra d4 to symbolize that there is now somebody else who is also trying to like clock the room at the same time.
All right.
That is how these stakes are being raised. See what's up. Okay, that is not a great roll. All right, our stakes are in 11.
I got a 13.
13, nicely done. So looking around the room, first of all, you actually catch sight of this guy Kelly that Franklin mentioned, who appears to be having a deep conversation with Cece at the bar. And just from a distance, you can't get like a good read on the body language, but you know Christian very well. And you get the impression that they like this guy. Like, not in like a, oh, they like this guy, but they're like, yeah, this dude's cool, like he's fine, I work with him. You get the feeling that they have a friendly dynamic, which might be useful to you guys later if you need to try and interrupt. Other things you'll pick up, there is not so much like open security, but you will notice that in like every knot of people, there are 1 or 2 members of the skeleton clique keeping an eye on things. So if someone tried to burst into a bar fight, you get the feeling it might last the equivalent of like a couple of rounds D&D wise before enough people got there to break it up. So sort of sewn through this crowd are people surreptitiously keeping an eye on things, and then there are the more open, there's 6 skeleton clique guys hanging out over there, obviously keeping an eye on people. So there are these 2 sort of security systems at the same time. The open ones, and then the quiet, just keeping an eye on things.
Gotcha. I think Jinx is going to keep the Kelly and Christian dynamic to herself for the moment, but will relay the rest to Franklin.
Okay.
You see that guy over there? He's doing this, and that guy's doing that.
Okay. When Jinx points these people out, do I see them with any weapons, or are they just doing it, or are they going to be stopping it with fisticuffs?
Give me an alertness thief.
That is a 10.
You just beat my number. Good job. A lot of these people are armed. Only the people from the Skeleton Clique are armed. It looks like both of you got like eyed up on your way down and were declared like they're not going to be an issue.
Got it.
But you can see that the Skeleton Clique people mostly have knives. Some of them have like so what would be called punch daggers. So think like almost like Wolverine claws that are attached manually. You can see a few people who have augmented modifications, including someone who with what looks like some kind of gun attached in their arm, which you just get because of your engineering know-how. You're like, that person has a firearm inside their arm. You can't tell what kind of firearm, but that's definitely someone to keep an eye on. Generally, in this society, guns aren't easy to come across. They're expensive, they're loud, and generally the police come down hard on people who have those sorts of weapons. So you're not going to run into a lot of people who are running around with pistols or shotguns or anything like that.
Right.
Having a gun is a fight ender. Like, you're not going to have people trading bullets back and forth. Someone brings a gun, they've brought a gun to a knife fight, sort of a vibe.
Got it.
But it also means it's someone who is not afraid of the police coming down on them, or someone who has some sort of in that means that they can go, if they find me with a gun, I have a reason to have it. Because the police here have a real crackdown on only we are allowed to be armed like that.
Got it. Franklin's going to point that out to Jinx, just letting them know. There's not many people around with guns, but this one here, he has an augmentation. So we were already going to be on our P's and Q's, but we might want to keep an eye out for him in case things do go south.
Yep. That'll be the one to, well, I mean, hopefully none of this is necessary and the night will go fine, but if things go sideways, then yeah, that'll be the one to do something about first.
Yeah.
Ranged weapons are tricky.
I think even though I do not want to, it might be good to go have a conversation with Kelly, because it looks like he may be able to get a little information on who Rosie may be going up against.
Okay. I did notice, I saw Cece over there, and I think that like they seem to have like a working vibe, like work friends sort of thing, I would be my guess. So I might be able to help with that.
That sounds lovely, actually, because I do not want to see him by myself.
That's fair. I wouldn't want to do that either.
As the song comes to an end, and sort of there's a little round of applause, the singer gives a bow, and you will both clock Josie and Alderose coming down the stairs.
I think Al has like slicked back their hair with something dark, so they're not in Al or George. They seem to be acting as like a bodyguard to this very delicate looking creature in pastel blue.
Yeah, and you have walked into as close to a goth club as a Victorian era said to can be. So a lot of people with wild face paint, a lot of people with like bones painted over their clothes, a lot of like a rough crowd, stunts, etc.
With both of them being in disguise, would we clock them at all?
I think you would not have a problem, at least with Al.
Okay,
like,
okay.
It's definitely like it's just they're not, they're usually like, they're in a character, but they're not disguising themselves from you, if that makes sense.
Okay, Al is.
It's my friend dyed their hair.
Yeah,
my friend is not dressed as themselves. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and you could just see like they're keeping like a professional, but you know them well enough now that you could just see I hate this place. I hate these people.
It's very much not your scene as a bougie boy. Yeah.
Mm.
As we all
in about 5 minutes, but we're just going to have our party reunite and catch each other up, and then we're going to go on our break.
I was say as we get together, Jinx is like trying not to look at Josie, and just kind of keeps going.
You look ravishing, dear.
Do I?
Snarks.
Well, thank you.
It's a really good disguise. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Uh-huh. You're taking
I
as a joke, right?
Need a
No.
No, you should.
Let's see.
When you say that, I start actually laughing.
So, from Jinx, I need a thief alertness, please.
Okay.
I've dropped a dice. It's lost forever. Hopefully, I'll find it after the stream.
Oh no.
Hell yeah, 17.
17. Nicely done. So, as you go, that's a good disguise. Your brain immediately goes, wait a second, we are surrounded by people listening to us. And you just sort of clamp down on the word before it can come out. And as you do so, you notice a tall, like very statuesque woman sort of give you a look over her little like black circular sunglasses. She's wearing like a massive sun hat inside at like 11 p.m. And you realize that she was definitely listening to you and is now like, what was she gonna say? But doesn't actually know. So you go like, that's a good
dress.
Yes.
Al will just very loudly, it is some of my finest work.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I'm quite fond of it, actually.
And then I think that we would catch them up on everything that we've picked up in the bar, and like slowly meander towards the actual bar area.
All right. Fantastic. And I think that is where we will take our break. So we will come back with an awkward conversation between ex-boyfriends. And also Christians then. But apart from that, yes.
Maybe lovers? Who knows?
Maybe lovers, who knows? So everyone enjoy, have a little break. We'll be back in 15 minutes. Stretch your legs, get a glass of water. Thank you for listening to the first half. Hopefully you come back for the second half. We'll see you later. Hello. Thank you for patiently waiting. We're back. And it's time to cause problems. So we are still in the Cannibal Club in the basement under the tattoo parlor on Walker Lane, where Franklin has just noticed that his ex-boyfriend appears to be running the MC of the fight that they have been entered into. And you've decided to make your way over to the bar and have a conversation.
Jinx is definitely gonna be, overly friendly. Just like, oh my god, it's Cece! Just gonna run over there.
Is it audible from a distance? Like you shout,
yes,
oh my god, it's Cece,
so.
and then start running? Yeah. I'm not even gonna make them roll for it. They immediately turn when they hear your voice. Wide open arms.
Awesome. Yeah, Jinx will give her a big hug.
If when you saw them before, They look like quite intimidating. This is mostly for Josie's perspective, because I don't think Jinx even registers it.
No.
Before they look quite intimidating with like the striking eyeliner, they now are essentially death's head makeup, like the black eyes, the white face, the black lines like across the mouth to make it look like a skull. Very unnerving to see beaming at somebody, but just like swoops Jinx up in a big hug, spins them around. You see Kelly take like 3 rapid steps backwards and get caught by Jinx's legs as she's spun.
Jinx is just like daintily kicking her feet as she's spinning around.
I think Al is walking up slowly and kind of watching Christian and then looking at Kelly just a little thoughtfully, like trying to size this up after learning who this is, and is just approaching slowly, like a large person, so moving slowly, no fast movements, because we don't want to pull in a knife here.
Al's about 6 foot, is that right?
Al's a little over, yeah.
A little over. So you're about the same height as Kelly. You're both like the tallest people in this bar.
I love that. I think Franklin is like walking a little bit in front of Al. Just like you got Al as this big shadow behind Franklin.
And then Josie just in blue.
Oh God.
Jinx, so are these more your friends?
Yeah. This is Franklin, and this is Josie, and this is Josie's bodyguard.
Right. Bodyguard. So you switched them over that fast, do you?
Is that directed at Jinx or at
Josie?
Josie.
Because when you saw them this afternoon, you had Jolo with you.
Yeah.
Where's your friend who wanted to get in the fight?
Oh, they were doing that for me, actually.
So, I thought this afternoon you said you wanted to enter Jolo into a fight. They seemed very excited about it. And now instead, you're dressed up as Little Bo Peep and you want to go in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
You're aware that it's a fight to the death.
Okay. I think I got as good a chance as anyone else.
Right, fantastic. Well, let's do that then. Kel, and they sort of lean over to Kelly, who has not looked away from Franklin this entire time, and just sort of goes like, yeah, sorry, what was that? Yeah, Kel, if you can sign little Miss Josie up for something in the 3rd round. And he goes, yeah, let me have a look, and sort of pulls out his little notebook and goes, yeah, we've well, so we're not gonna do a, okay, yeah, so she'll be fighting Saphira then? Yeah, that sounds about right. Have her in with Saphira, that should be interesting.
I'm gonna be so gay. I'm gonna need to hear information like 3 times. I can tell by the name.
Jinx is also going to ask Christian, be like, so Cece, who's your friend here?
Oh, right, this is Kelly. He works for us now. I don't know if I should let Jinx make this role. I feel like our more aware people should make this role.
Yeah.
You've seen them standing next to each other.
Al is
Yes.
like trying to like watch Kel, but also watching Franklin's body language, like obviously from behind, but like trying to figure out how is Franklin trying to play this, like is very much paying attention.
Franklin is also battling with him on how he wants to handle this. It's like,
Okay.
I want.
Yeah, let's have a roll from Franklin then. Let's have awareness and grifter. Or not awareness, alertness. Sorry, I always mix those two up.
Alertness and grifter. Oh, great.
Can I get in on that too, or is that a Franklin only?
I'm gonna let Franklin do this.
Okay.
Oh,
Does
this
this,
is not a good roll. 6 is the DC.
Okay, I like the sound of that. Okay.
And I rolled a 1, so you guys have picked up the asset. He's still in love with you.
Yes. Can I use my observant for this?
Yes.
Beautiful. That is a 7, a 2, and a 3. So 12.
Well, so the first thing, yeah, he's clearly stuck on you, but also looking between Christian and Kelly, there is some family resemblance. Like, it's probably not as close as siblings, but there is some family relation.
Kelly, is this your cousin you told me about?
Oh, hey, Franklin.
Hi.
Good to see you're
Nice
looking
to see
well.
you here.
Yeah, well,
As
you know,
well as one could.
What like I told you before, I've sort of changed careers, looking for a new start. Yeah, this is my cousin, Christian.
Nice to meet you, Christian. I've heard so many good things about you from my friend Jinx and your cousin, my ex.
I think that everyone will catch the wince that goes over Kelly's face, and just the flourish you put on that, the little like flavor that you added there, just a.
What is the read we're getting off of Franklin? Is Franklin like?
We can make this a PvP role if you would like to have this as a secret.
Please.
Fantastic. Give me a grifter intelligence from you, Franklin, and a grifter alertness from you, please, Al.
Please, I beg. I got a 12.
I only got a 9.
Those are your secrets to keep.
Okay, so what you can gauge from this, Franklin is a little jaded behind this man. What you do not catch is that Franklin still has a soft spot for Kelly.
Is this a case, do we get the impression Franklin would like to make this worse, or is Franklin just trying to get out of this?
Franklin is trying to use Kelly right now, so don't make it worse.
Yeah.
I think Jinx, because she's aware that this is Franklin's ex, and you know that this is awkward, is going to make her best attempt to make it less awkward. So she's just going to be like, "Hey, speaking of awkward silences, Cece, we should go get dinner again sometime."
I would love to. You know me, I'm always down for a good feed. Yeah, for sure. Happy to. But, you know, I'm aware that you're here for a reason. So, I'm gonna go find myself a good spot ringside. Jinxie, did you want to come with me? Maybe we can stand together?
Sure. That sounds great.
And they will very casually hook an arm around your shoulders and sort of guide you through the crowd. And you will again notice the way the crowd just melts out of their way.
Jinx is oblivious to the, you know, why the crowd is moving away, but she's just like gonna rest her head on Christian's shoulder as they walk to the seat.
Al watches this go very disapprovingly.
Franklin is like kind of still stuck on your cousin's a cannibal. You never mentioned that part of things. Also, they have dinner together as a cannibal? Interesting.
I mean, to be fair, it's not like the clique only eats people.
Oh, I thought it was an exclusive. I thought it was an exclusive thing.
No, there are a lot of bad diseases you can get. It was a hard lesson, but they learned it. Yeah.
Speaking
is this like
of
a
exclusive,
special occasion thing?
I'm not I'm not part of it. I'm just with it, not in it. If you understand me. And like they say that to Al, and then their eyes immediately go to Franklin. I was like, if you understand me, I'm not. I didn't join a gang. I'm not.
That's no longer any of my business.
Right.
Are they the reason why you are out so soon?
Yeah, well, it was 12 years, and that was a long time. It's a very long time. So I thought that perhaps it'd be best to get out and keep my head down until, they say that the Empress is feeling pretty sick. So maybe there'll be a turnover in the government, and I can arrange for some papers to get lost.
When he says head down, Franklin kind of looks around and looks at the ring and the mic and is like, you're doing a great job of not going noticed. Lovely, even, with this bright red suit.
Well, there's different versions of keeping your head down, aren't there? I'd say it's pretty far under the ground right now.
So I have a little question for you about my friend's match coming up.
Yeah.
Who is this Saphira?
Oh, well, she's competed 30 times, and she's still alive. So that should tell you something. She is a member of the clique. Very, very tall woman. I don't think I've ever seen someone as tall as her before.
Taller than you?
The Clockmen, but yeah, taller than me.
So
and
she's
she wears
not
heels, so it's a lot.
Fighting in heels is not advised.
I would not.
Not normally, no. What more can I tell you? Apparently she studied with someone from one of the other facets, some kind of fighting, that makes her more dangerous than the average person.
Why do you look so flustered?
It's very warm in here. Why do you look so flustered?
I am debating on if I want to hit you or kiss you right now.
Well, I'll say one thing. If you hit me, something will probably explode. So make an informed decision. And he went.
But if I kiss you, then that also leads to danger. But
yeah, but one of them's more fun than the other one.
Yeah, the other one is how I got my arm blown off the first time.
Look, I lost my arm too. And I did apologize very thoroughly.
What is your... this is completely out of...
Franklin has gotten distracted.
He's gone down the rabbit hole. He's like, okay. What is your cousin's connection to this ring? Do they...
I mean, they don't run it, but, they're pretty high up in the clique. They have, like, this cute thing where they name all of them after bones, and she's what they call a spine, which, from what I understand, is pretty important. So, she can walk in and tell everyone except the person who actually runs this place what to do.
Who runs this place, then?
Another spine.
So, if it, hypothetically...
I don't know his actual name. Everyone just calls him the Bullfrog.
2 seconds. I'm writing things down. Cool. I understand. Listen, I know that there's not. The last time we talked, it wasn't the cleanest break.
I remember.
I'm trying to get Davis back, and I need a little help.
Give me Grifter, whichever stat you think this is most relevant to, and then he is still in love with you, so you're going to get to pull on that dice as well, so that'll add a d4. But then also, because you've got a long time connection with this guy, I'm going to give you a second d4.
Jesus Christ. So many d4.
When you guys make an advantage by me rolling in that one, you guys get to pull those dice in to help you whenever it's relevant.
Okay. All right.
And vice versa. Whenever you guys roll one and I make you a consequence, and if it's relevant to something I'll be rolling, I get to pull it in.
6, 8, 11.
11. Nice. All right. Well, I'm just going to give him a pretty... he's not expecting this to be difficult, so I'm going to roll him just 2d6. Ooh. I'm going to... He rolled a 1 on one dice, so I'm going to up that that d4 if he's still in love with you to a d6, because that seems relevant. So in the future, you can roll it as a d6.
Got it.
And you absolutely devastate. So what do you want out of this? So you go, I'm trying to get Davis back. I think you see his eyes just soften immediately. Because at the time you two were together, Davis was living with you, right?
Yep.
So he knows this kid. He knows this kid well. So I think he sort of looks around furtively, leans in, and Alderos, you will immediately clock. This looks like he is giving Franklin like a kiss on the cheek, but he is actually whispering something. So out loud, he says, "I'm so sorry to hear that." Leans in and kisses Franklin on the cheek. As he kisses Franklin on the cheek, Franklin, you hear a whisper of, "Whatever you need, you can find me." And then he gives you an address, which you will note is not above ground. This is in like the bowels of the artifact. This is underground. So he says, "You can find me under Stump Street."
That's great for the future, but I need help tonight.
Look, fucking with the clique is not conducive to living.
I don't... Just tell me one of Saphira's weaknesses. If somebody were to go for, let's say, her heel, or she's got a bum hip, I'm anything at this point.
She's blind in her left eye.
Good information.
You didn't hear it from me.
And I guess I might find my way to Stump Street in the coming days so we can have an actual talk outside of jumpsuits.
I'd like that.
Me too. Well, hold on.
He sort of leans back on the bar. Suddenly very casual.
Franklin does not say "me too" the same way that he leaned into me and kissed me on the cheek and whispered. I'm gonna lean in, kiss him on the cheek, and say "me too."
All right. Again, I think immediately both Alderos and Josie, with your default grifter level, you can tell this guy is a consummate liar. That's not his best skill, but it's maybe his second best. You're not sure what he is best at, but he's very good at putting up a front, telling the right stories. etc. Like in the parlance of this game, he would be a grifter secondary. You're not sure what his primary is, though.
Okay. So I'm gonna leave him and kind of move everybody away from prying ears.
As you turn and leave away, again, with the leaning on the bar, and you see like that immediate like spark of facade come back up, he'll just call after you and go, well, you know, I hate to see you go, but I do love to watch you leave.
Oh, shut up. Some things never change.
And you can
As
hear
we
sort of
walk
a small
away,
ripple of laughter from the people around it.
As we walk away, I just have to... Is that suit well tailored? I have to know.
Very well tailored. In fact, I think you probably... Let's see if you know this tailor. Give me a... It'll be a hacker intelligence for information gathering. But you can add fashionable to this.
Oh, excellent. 12. No ones.
Nicely done. 12 against a 10, so you get the information. Yes, this is a fairly well-known tailor. This is a tailor you've worked with before because she's quite well-known for being able to sew, like, hidden pockets and keeping her head down. She's a female tailor, which is not well-regarded in polite society, but she was trained by one of the, like, name tailors who was on, like, one of the fashion streets. So she has the ability, but she cannot get the job that she should be able to get with her skill level. It's a woman named Maud Hottie.
We'll kind of look him up and down, give the reluctant, like, tiny nod, and then follow Franklin away.
When we get a safe distance away, Franklin's just gonna I hate that guy.
That was not the impression I got.
You know, sometimes you have to act the part to get the job done.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah, I have no idea. However, and he looks over at Josie. Saphira is, and like whispers it, Saphira is blind in her left eye.
That's definitely something I can use.
So,
scanning the bar, do we see a ridiculously tall woman?
Give me a thief alertness.
Okay.
Meanwhile, over by the ring, Christian is going to lean in and ask you, so did you want to lay any bets?
Well, I don't have much money at the moment, unfortunately.
Oh, that's all right. I had some to pass along to you. And they like pat down their little like military jacket and pull out a like a little brown paper envelope that has your name written on it. Passes it over to you. Went and had a word with some people who owed you some money. I think you forgot about it though. But anyway, that's yours.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I don't remember being owed money by anyone, but I appreciate it.
It's more effective. They had some money that was meant to be yours, so I just got it back for you.
I don't know what I'd do without you. Yeah, let's put this on, all of that on Josie.
All right. And she just takes the envelope back, folds it, puts it back in the jacket pocket.
I think Jinx is kind of almost literally like hanging off of Christian's arm, like not putting a significant significant amount of weight on her, but is very clearly like sort of snuggling. But she's always also got her eyes open, looking for any signs of trouble or like.
I need to roll a quick, like, self-control roll for this person.
looking for like weak spots in the ring or something like that.
When she snuggled up, they go, "Are you cold?" And immediately takes off their jacket and puts it around your shoulders.
That's so sweet.
It does clank as they put it around your shoulders. You're like, oh, there's a knife in here.
Raven, cannibal. Reminder.
Raven
They're
is
cannibals.
Jinx does not care.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jinx does not know and or does not care. So yeah, Jinx just like pulls it tighter around them and leans in. They're just like playing right into it and genuinely enjoying herself.
Enjoying the company.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been friends for a very long time. There's clearly a good reason.
Yeah.
The rest of our party make their way over to the ring. You can see that people are giving and taking bets. How did that roll go to see if you could spot Saphira?
It was only an 8.
Only 8. Okay.
No ones, though.
Okay. You do not see anyone of that specific description. You assume they're around. Maybe they're sitting down. Maybe she's, gone to the bathroom. You just don't know.
This is a very loud, very dangerous place, and I don't like it.
Yeah, all of you will have marked multiple pickpockets trying to get to you, but you're sort of ambiently aware of such things and can stop it before it happens. So arriving at the ring, you can see there are people giving and taking bets. It looks like the odds on Josie are 3-1. They do not think she's going to win.
Good. That means if I survive, we get more money.
It does.
With any of the other fights going on, are there like any kind of like what Jinx is doing? Can we look for this is where bricks come loose? Or are there any like dirty fighting things that clearly like are not officially endorsed, but everyone's turning a blind eye to? Is anything like that happening?
Dirty fighting seems to be almost encouraged. You see a few occasions of people like trying to throw sawdust in each other's eyes, kicking someone in the fork, for example, etc. Like no holds barred. You're trying to kill the other person.
Mm-hmm.
The bricks of the ring, the top row just seems to be stacked rather than actually mortared into place, and they are all liberally blood-stained. So it seems like that is almost almost expected. Like if you can get to a brick and grab it, go for it. It's more just the other side is trying to keep you away from that at the same time as well. Like it's sort of a two-edged fight. As the most recent fight finishes up, and you see Kelly step back into the ring, calls out the victor, who goes and collects their winnings. The people who bet have their money paid out. And then you have Kelly step up and say, "All right, next on the ballot, we have Josie in the left corner," and sort of points over to where you are encouraged to step into the ring.
She would, looking as sheepish as she can.
And in the
I will
right
squeeze
corner,
her shoulder before she goes.
in the right corner, our champion, Saphira, and a woman maybe 6'6", kicks off a pair of heels and becomes 6'5". They're not a serious set of heels, and steps into the ring barefoot. She is maybe Latino, like sort of a bronzed complexion, curly black hair that's been cut very short, so it's sort of like just a little ruffle around the head. Very full face, like full lips, strong nose, very
Hey,
strong
Ram,
features.
This is
Yeah.
targeted. I need you to stop.
Broad shoulders.
Damn it.
She's wearing men's clothes, so like a white button-up shirt, brown waistcoat, brown trousers, sort of a black ribbon tie that she takes off and throws back with her shoes, where you can see a couple of like what are obviously her friends who are looking after her stuff while she's in the ring.
Not gonna lie, Jinx is a little conflicted on who she wants to win at the moment.
She is currently wrapping her fist. When she sees that she's fighting a human, she throws a pair of those chainmail wraps back with the other lot of her stuff.
Al will either hand over if she wants to do it, or will wrap her fist for her, whichever Josie wants. And as kind of wrapping, will just very quietly be like, obviously be aware of her reach. All of those petticoats can be torn apart and used.
Sounds like a plan.
Are you trying to slip something into the wrappings, like coins or anything like that? No.
Nope. She said she didn't want to cheat.
Great. Give me a hitter alertness to organize the wrist wrapping.
Well,
Yes, no good.
hitter alert, you said?
Yep.
That's a 3.
It's a 3. Did you roll any ones?
Uh-huh.
Good stuff.
I don't know how you
Alright,
get a 3 without a 1.
Hey, I'm just checking. I'm going to add a consequence called loose wrappings.
But they
which will
look
be
great.
Worth a D4. They look amazing. They look exactly like Saphira's ones. But you haven't actually tied them correct. Okay, so with that said, we step into the ring. And the fight begins. So this is going to be a grifter roll. Not grifter, sorry, this is going to be a hitter roll. Why did I say grifter? So Saphira is an experienced combatant. So she has a D8 to start with. She's got a D6 for well-wrapped wrists. And then she's got a D4 from your badly done wrapping. So she's getting to roll 3 dice.
Can I use either my rancher or espionage?
You're a lucky duck is what you are.
Cool. I needed that.
Mm-hmm.
So your DC is 7, but I rolled a 1. So I think we're going to add a D4 of Saphira's blind eye to your roll.
Ooh, sweet.
Do I get to use my rancher or espionage at all?
If you can tell me how those are relevant to a fist fight in a pit?
Fighting off people that are trying to take her crops or any of the clockwork beasts that they have.
Would that be a fist fight?
Yeah, she'd use her hands.
Honestly?
Does the disguise help at all?
As a horse boy, I feel like the rancher is, breaking in or like getting glitch under control. That was a fight.
Fair.
That was a tussle.
Taking a kick from a horse.
I'll give you a
That's
D4 because I'm very nice.
Thank you.
It was a team effort.
Look, we're down our hitter. We gotta finagle every way we can.
Yeah.
I got one smooch. She has to come out alive.
I'm going to write the DC down so that no one can claim that I didn't. Go ahead and make your hitter roll.
I rolled no ones.
Yeah.
13.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, come on. Don't do this.
Yay!
So, well done. You're fine. Would you like to describe how you take this woman out? To the death.
So Whenever Glitch was malfunctioning, there were definitely points in time where she had to take down this massive clockwork animal. So she's definitely using a lot of feinting maneuvers, particularly to the left-hand side, and doing what she can to use the petticoats and maybe even some of the loose wrappings to get her legs out from under her. And the moment that this woman hits the ground, she's done for. As soon as she's able to get on top and able to get herself in a position where she can pin someone underneath her, there's nothing that can stop her.
Yeah.
She'd probably try to kill her as quickly as possible. She doesn't like being messy.
So you see Josie get Saphira onto the ground, grab one of those bricks, comes down twice, and I mean, Josie's a very controlled woman, so you don't see her get caught up in that, like, fury that a lot of the fighters have, where they're, like, just so desperate, just so scared that they're just hitting them until they stop moving. This is, Josie goes, I hit her, she's not quite done, I hit her again, she's done, I'm done, and stands up and is just finished with it.
I will say specifically that Josie's not afraid at all. There's not even a moment, even when it seems like maybe she might not win, there's not a single moment of fear.
So while it's a long fight, it's not a very, like, exciting fight for the audience, just because a lot of the way that Josie fights is very tactical. So it's a lot of feinting, it's a lot of falling back and judging, like, how much more of this do I need? How much further do I need to go? So there isn't a lot of blood, there isn't a lot of, like, splashing, there isn't a lot of, like, yelling at each other, because Saphira is also a very serious woman. And in fact, you can tell she knows some kind of martial arts, which seems to have been, like, her edge over a lot of people in this fight. But it's done. You stand up, there's a little bit of blood on one of your petticoats, and that's about it. You've got a black eye, you're pretty sure, from a couple of lucky hits, because this woman, again, she hit like a horse, which you're used to, so it wasn't that disturbing. But you can still feel, like, the puffy beginning to start, the, like, that like, hot, heavy feeling of when a bruise is starting to form.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you walk away the winner, which means that you have won from the actual fight, £1, and from the bet that Jinx made, a crown, which is £0.5. So you've got £1.5 out of that fight. So you have effectively doubled your money already. Well, actually, no, you had 3-to-1 odds because of the that. So you got £3 all up, because you would have gotten 2 from the winnings and then £1 from the bet. So there you are. You've doubled your money. £3.
As controlled as Josie was that whole fight, like, Al is, like, pale, and by the end of it, like, clutching Franklin's shoulder. Just, like, keeps getting more and more tense.
Meanwhile, Franklin has turned into, like, a fan of boxing and death matches. He's like, yeah, go on.
Yeah. Grab her by the hair. Yeah. Give her the chair. Yeah. You look away for one moment and somehow Franklin has found a foam finger. You're not even sure. Yeah.
It's not a foam finger, it's just a severed hand.
What is... Oh,
Can
sorry,
I
go
give
ahead.
this to Cece?
Just Franklin, like, next time we gotta get in the front row. I want to be in the splash zone.
Oh my god. Speaking of, what is Cece's reaction to Josie winning?
Why don't you try and find that out? Give me a grifter alertness.
Okay.
Your DC is 11.
I got a 10, and one of them is a 1.
Okay. So I think with that, I'm going to give a consequence of tired. You're just tired. It's like 1 a.m.
That's fair. been a stressful day.
Yeah, it's like 1:30 a.m. This is probably going to be a consequence that will last because you're not going to get a full night's sleep before you start your next thing. But as you look into like CC and try and check out like what they're feeling, there's some disappointment. You're not sure if it's disappointment because Josie won, it's disappointment because the fight wasn't very interesting, it's disappointment because you're like, I'm only sticking around to watch my friend fight and then I'm going to go home, and they're like, I want to hang out with you more. Like, you're not sure. There are too many different possible causes.
Okay.
There are drinks at this bar, yes?
Yes. Yeah.
Is this, I know we're in a weird, is there like ice? Or only,
no.
or are there any like cold drinks? Or are they only like I'm just trying to figure out.
They probably got human steaks in the back.
Right.
It's the best you gonna get.
Right.
Why don't you give me a grifter to like try and flirt your way into getting some ice?
I will. I don't think they might try and intimidate, but they're not in this space. Like in this head watching this person that just kissed them like fucking murder someone. They're like,
yeah. Well, I'm gonna roll how steadfast these people are about not giving out free shit. So
I mean, Al does have some money on them, so they can't. Like, they're planning on getting a whiskey anyway.
All right. So they're only serving one drink here.
Okay.
As I said, they've just got like one big barrel that everything is being served out of. A drink is a penny. For ice, you're going to pay another penny. So, tuppence for a drink with ice. And then you can fish the ice out if you want.
Yeah, I think 2 drinks, 1 with ice, so 3 pennies.
Yep.
And we'll fish out the ice, pull out a kerchief, put the ice in it, and head back to Josie. Shoot their own drink. Head to Josie with the ice and the drink.
It's like an alcoholic cider that's been spiked with rum.
Not as bad as I thought it would be. And yeah, we'll walk up and there's clearly like this confliction on their face. It's like, well done. I'm glad you're safe.
Thanks. You alright? You look like you might pass out.
I am not much of a fighter, and that was quite a display.
You do what you got, alright?
Not whiskey, but it's not bad.
So
with that done, are you pushing for another fight or are you going home?
we don't need more, do we?
Is this gonna be enough to
3
get a
pounds,
bank account?
And then I think you've got 2 at the moment from
I've got 2. I figure at least a half a pound of that went to a Roland.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta cut him in. So
yeah.
I've probably got about a pound and a half.
I would say you need 5 pounds to open an account at this place. So it depends on if you can convince your fellows to put in money. Because I think we established Franklin has about 2.5. Jinx is flat broke apart from the pound that you just made off that fight.
Yeah.
You want me to go for another one?
I would very much like you to not. I have some I can put in.
I could probably put in 1, maybe.
I presume Jinx is still with Christian, so she can't really answer, but
I think we can recombine the group at this point.
Okay, I think because after this, like, everybody's going to probably rest, right, before the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jinx is going to tell Cece that she's going to go check on her friends, and then she'll come back.
Yep.
So, how we feeling?
Battered.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. You've had better days. You did great in the ring, though. I don't know how I got this arm, but What?
I won £1 betting on the fight. So that's a little bit closer to our goal.
That's good.
How much did you say that we'll need again? About 5?
Yeah.
Fair.
So Josie's currently got 2 from that fight. If each of you put in £1, you would be there.
I think we might have enough if we pull everything together.
Great, because I'll be honest with you, I got real fucking lucky in that one.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to get out of this place.
As well. And I'm holding the arm and I'm like, hey, do you think CC would like this as like a peace offering?
Probably. And Jinx will just like gingerly, like not quite like the 2-finger picking it up because it's a whole arm, but like she is touching this as little as possible.
You know, it's from like the elbow down, like it's sort of there. Yeah.
Okay, maybe just like holding on by a couple of, you know, the dismembered fingers.
Are you holding hands with it?
Kind of.
In my head, it's like the hand from it that it was waving at people.
Yeah, she'll take it and be like, yeah, I think she might like it. Do you want me to? I assume you want me to tell her it was from. Is this like it's from us, or it's like from you specifically, or is it like from you specifically?
No, not from me specifically. If that one, and I point at Kelly, if he finds out that I have a thing for his cousin, then that would be a problem. And I definitely do
more
not
awkward. Yeah.
Absolutely. You could say it's from the group, or from Rosie as thanks for getting them in the ring to begin with.
Gotcha.
Jinx,
Uh-huh.
be careful.
Oh, I'm always careful.
No, you are not. You are lucky.
Same thing.
It's really not. And I will look directly at Franklin. So do you want to make this worse for him? Or should we just leave?
Franklin pulls out a note. I have his address. We can make it worse for him later. What do you mean by make it worse for him?
Do you want him to be jealous?
Yes.
Then we should go. And we'll put an arm around Franklin, very obviously, and start heading out. Because you know he's watching. You always watch your ex at the bar.
Yes.
Amazing. All right. So from there, I'm going to assume Jinx stays and hangs out with Christian for the rest of the night. Sort of slowly guiding away from the fighting and back towards like the bar and the band, I would think, because you don't seem super into the blood sports.
No, she's not. She'll hand Christian the arm and
I
be
could
like,
see Jinx being 100% into blood sport, like not understanding it, like,
oh, this looks fun.
yeah, the My Little Pony
It's
at
fine.
the
They'll
death
get
metal
up in the
concert.
morning.
yeah. My Little Pony is an apt description for
Jinx
For her.
looking at a bloody, dismembered corpse. Oh, he's going to be unhappy tomorrow morning.
That's gonna leave a mark.
He's so pretty with all that red on him. It's so his color.
Sort of a like a Pinkie Pie, Jessica Day sort of personality trope.
Amazing.
But she'll
so
go back to. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the rest of you, what's the plan? How do you spend your nights? Well, wait, a night. I assume in the morning you are all recombining to go check out that bank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just headed straight home.
I think we get out. Al immediately takes the arm off and then just kind of looks at everyone awkwardly.
Oh yeah, because you had a whole thing earlier. Hey. Okay, I guess he's not looking anymore, so it doesn't matter.
Confusion. You see, like, processing confusion.
The wheel is just turning.
Yeah.
Like,
Al.exe has stopped functioning.
I'll
You
be
see the same
fine.
dude outside the door, and he just sort of gives you a wave as you head off.
Did you finish that painting?
Oh, actually, and he turns around to like a little postcard-sized like picture he was working on. You can see like the most beautiful like grandma style like watercolor of like a little bouquet of flowers, and there's like a kitten with a ball of yarn. Like,
Oh my god, I love it.
you know, it's coming along.
I don't mean to sound rude, but I think you're better than this place.
Well,
Yeah, I don't make a killing as an artist.
oh well, you know, during the day I do the tattoos. During the night I do the bouncing.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this is yours.
You know, I've always wanted to do watercolors, and he sort of looks into the middle distance.
I love doing this to my DMs. I didn't catch your name, by the way.
Oh, Eddie.
Eddie.
You can't do that to Rand. Rand's prepared.
Damn.
It don't work.
You can try.
Oh, okay. So Eddie, if I wanted a good tattoo, I would have to come back and see you, correct?
Yeah, if you're interested. I mean, most of what I do is like skulls and knives in skulls. But like, if you were interested in something, I've always been interested in branching out. But you know, the clientele has a particular interest. You know.
Do you do cover-ups?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I pull up and you see Franklin Loves Kelly tattooed like right here. It's like, okay, so I was
Yeah.
I'm looking to get that gone.
Yeah, I could do that.
I think that kitten would look very good right there.
Oh, you want like one of my pictures? You don't want like a skull or like a demon or like a demon eating a skull?
No. I actually like the bouquet of flowers and the kitten actually. I'll not tonight. I'll probably be back in a couple of days. But yeah,
you see this man's face just light up with pure artistic joy. I could do some sketches. I could probably.
Whatever you feel like doing, anything to cover this up.
Oh yeah, I could do that. I could definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and you just see him flip over his sketchbook and start sketching.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make his day better.
That whole thing makes me so ridiculously happy.
It's just pure joy. Just pure joy.
All right,
Yeah,
so everyone's going home for the night?
Yeah.
I got one little problem.
What's wrong?
I don't have anywhere to stay, considering I'm kind of new here.
Oh.
And I'm not
That
really
is a
thinking with
problem.
the amount of hits that I took to the head, I should be by myself.
I look at Al. We've seen the state of my apartment. Is yours any better?
She's seen the state of mine. You can have the bed. It'd probably fit you better.
I don't mind sharing. It's not too small.
Well, and it's just the like.
Al.exe is not
All the
working.
grifter charm has like evaporated in this moment of like, what do I do?
You're a Victorian person, and this woman is just going, I'll sleep with you.
Yeah, it's just like
Huh? Yeah, no.
This one you met today.
Yeah. So
But we're not married. I haven't met your father. What do you...
while you two figure that out, I'm going to go check on Dulo and make sure that they are okay. Where do we want to meet? Back at the Sticky Gears in the morning, or
where would we normally find Jinx in the morning? Because Jinx doesn't know the plan.
fuck?
Jinx often hangs out at Petticoat Market, I think we've established.
Yeah. And I think she'd probably assume that the group would meet at the tavern that we've been talking at, like, the next day.
Perfect. Yeah, and since Jinx and Al go back, so she'll probably meet us there when she wakes up.
Yeah.
Let's hope she doesn't sleep in.
Let's hope she sleeps.
Yes.
So I will see you all in the morning. Just bang on the door. I'll wake up. I'm
All
gone.
right.
Good night.
So Franklin heads home to get some well-deserved rest and definitely not think about his ex-boyfriend. Jinx hangs out at the Cannibal Club until the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah. I have a feeling that she's going to try to have a conversation with Christian later that night. Quote unquote conversation.
I think that Christian is too much of an upstanding citizen to necessarily just like sleep with Jinx.
Upstanding citizen. Cannibal, but upstanding citizen.
Yeah, I mean, she's a cannibal. She's not a monster. And society says that sex before marriage is wrong. So she might be like, I would be very interested in getting to know you better. Yes, if you would like. I'm so like, but like,
Time out,
society.
pause.
Yes.
Does society not say that eating people is wrong?
That blood sports?
Well, I do also want to mention what happened with mummies during this time period. So
yeah.
Excellent tea. Excellent tea.
You can pick one societal thing to break, and they went with cannibalism.
Got it. Wicked.
Can't push this society too far. I understand that.
I think Jinx is probably gonna be like, we've literally known each other most of our lives. Like, what else do you need to know about me?
I think that's what's gonna happen is they'll be like, I would be very interested in like courting you, but you know, you got to do things right.
Okay. I think Jinx is going to be disappointed, but also flattered, and be open to that discussion later.
So, you know, you can stay in her spare room, but you're not staying in her bed.
Sorry, I just saw shit. I have to go to court for this. Oh my god, that broke me. I'm sorry.
Good job.
All right. Which leaves Alrose and Josie, who is a thoroughly modern woman, it would appear.
Josie's American.
the moment that she gets inside, she's changing. Does not matter that they're in the room with her. It doesn't matter. She's getting out of the frills. Absolutely not.
Absolutely. There's plenty of clothing.
The moment the door closes, it's just off.
Yeah, and Al respectfully turns away. It's just like
So, are you alright after that whole thing?
Pauses and listens to hear if there's clothing shifting anymore before turning around. Yeah, are you all right? And we'll kind of just reach out and not even touch, but just hover over where the black eye is starting to form.
I've gotten kicked plenty of times. This is not the worst I've had.
You, certainly know how to handle yourself.
You gotta.
Sounds like a wild place you're from.
Honestly, here's a lot more fucked up. I've just been taking care of myself for a while, so kind of used to it. It's also not the first time I killed someone. You still alright with that?
Skeleton Clique are not my favorite people, but I am of the underworld, even if I don't participate in everything in the underworld.
Okay. How you see me is not changing any different?
I tend to step in front of people. Not going to lie, I might be a little more tempted to step behind you.
Good. So, we should probably get some sleep. At least as much as we can in the short time frame. But, I'm a bit riled up considering the adrenaline. Do you want to have that conversation now or later?
There's a lot of humming and tugging at collars and just a
Red
flush.
face?
Yeah, it's slowly creeping up.
She just steps a little bit closer.
He'll put hands on her shoulder and before. There's something about me you should know.
Okay.
And he'll start to pull off the cravat and unbutton the first couple buttons of the waistcoat and then the button shirt beneath and just pull it open a little bit. And she would see wrappings all across his chest.
They're
Darn,
very
that's not
healthy,
my
not
first-
ace bandages. We're
No,
not
that's
promoting
not my
that
first
on
rodeo.
this.
Don't do that.
I'm not phased.
And you see like this look of like relief, but the kind of relief of someone who has been keeping the secret from everyone for a very long time.
You still go by the same shit, or should there be things that I should call you in private?
I know you don't know our society, and it is not the most common of names. But Alderose is... I grew up as Rose, but I go by Al now.
All right, Al. It's fine by me. Makes no difference.
He smiles and steps a little bit closer.
Hee hee.
The saxophone plays as the camera moves away from the window. But no wonder you will have a D4 of tired by the time you get together in the
Right?
Yeah, probably.
So let's speed ahead to that moment where you all slink into the sticky gears at the crack of probably 9 in the morning because you were out until 3 and then went about doing more and more things. And Jinx only got back to Christians at like 5. So... And honestly, I assume Franklin stayed up for an hour tinkering, being like, I'm not thinking about my ex-boyfriend. Don't worry about it. You did look good. No, I'm not thinking about it.
So the thing is, I'm pretty sure when Franklin left, the first thing he did was go to the address so he knows where it's at, and then he went home.
Okay. So Stump Street is in a similar part of town to you, but like a couple of neighborhoods over, so it's still the poor area, further away from the river though. And then, you know, from the address you were given, it's sort of 3 levels down, which is where, you know, you get a lot of like the black market shit happening. And you found a small, like, locked off area that looks like it's probably a workshop / living space.
So this is where he's been.
But, you know, there are a few things that just, even from the outside, you're like, yeah, Kelly definitely lives here. Like, there's the vague, like, gunpowder smell in the air around it. You can see a few soot marks on, like, the wire grills outside. You can tell, he smashed that stupid giant case of his that he brings everywhere into the side of the door when he came in. Like, that sort of
dipshit. He's still the same dipshit. God damn it, this is why I loved him. And then I leave after just making sure that the place that he's living at now is somewhat safe and he's not in a shoebox.
Yeah, look, it's like a studio. It's not like a massive place. He's clearly not doing super well for himself.
Yeah.
But you can see all of his usual security tricks are up and about. And when I say you can see them, that doesn't mean other people would be able to.
Yeah.
But you lived with this guy for a while. You know how he sets up his tripwires. You know where he puts his traps.
Got it.
And you're probably like, if I can see this many, there are probably some I can't see.
Yep. Okay. But yeah, that's it for my night.
So yeah, the early hour of 9 a.m. You all reconvene at the Sticky Gears.
Josie looks like the cat that ate the canary.
With a giant black eye.
Oh yeah.
The highest cravat Al could find.
Just like very stiff, like it's actually pushing his jaw
Yes.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, Jinx is basically nursing a cup of coffee. It's just like, morning.
Shit, y'all are here early. Fuck. Did anyone get sleep?
Oh yeah.
Surprisingly, yes. About 3-4 hours or so.
Yeah. I pull out basically a massive jug of coffee. Damn near a double Stanley cup. It's just like, okay. Dulo is still rebooting, so I don't think he might be out of commission for a little bit of time.
How many of us do we want to scout the bank?
Well, I should probably scout that out since I'm gonna be doing most of my work in there.
Mm-hmm.
Do we?
Just to get a look of what they have going for them security-wise and possibly getting a little bit of information on how to get past the security. I think would be good if I go too.
I'm not sure it's a good idea that all of us go in our cover is we have to open an account.
Of course. Actually, and like I go into like my little pocket and pull out these little kind of like ear bobble things, and they're basically like little communicator situations.
Yep.
Like radio waves and all that good stuff. Let's see if these work. That way we all don't have to go in, but we can at least hear what's going on inside.
Give me a hacker intelligence roll, please.
Yes.
This
would I be
technology
able to-
does exist, but it's usually very expensive. So you would have spent all night making these.
I think he had been working on these for a while.
All right. Your DC is 12.
Would I be able to add my crafting to this as well?
Yes.
Okay. That is, thank you. 17.
Nice. So yeah, you've got a full set of communicators, including one that you can fit into Dolor. Like you don't need ears. You can make it work.
But so yeah, I've got one for each of us, and they should be able to let us hear what happens inside.
Yeah.
You will need to at least whisper for it to be carried enough for the mics to hear you, which means there is a chance other people will overhear it. There is also a chance if people are very close up to your face that they will hear someone speaking here. Just so that we're all aware of the rules of how this will work.
Yeah.
I have a question. Because of my eye and the plugins that I have to my head, would there be a way for me to include visual data?
You would, but Franklin doesn't have a way to display it.
Hold on.
But, for example, you could record it, and then if Franklin worked on it, he could try and create a display for it.
That works.
Yeah.
Now
Review
that I
after.
would be able to do.
I think it will be very important to know not just the security inside, but the security outside. Are there people watching? We'll need you to do that. It's very important.
So while I'm assuming you're going to go inside then, correct?
I've been working on this accent the better part of a day.
I'll be on the outside getting the lay of the land.
Oh, so
Because
that's
security isn't just the inside.
So that's what we're calling it now. Working on the accent.
Bright red, just like stops breathing.
Am I missing something? What is this? What is this tension between the two of you?
There is some tension now that you mention it. You doing okay, Al?
I've never seen you this shade of red before, even when you've been drunk.
Perfectly fine. And I'm never drunk.
What's wrong with your neck?
Your friend Michael, as he passes by, like, with a tray of drinks, just goes, more like a lack of tension, and, like, just keeps walking.
The very Victorian British, if I don't acknowledge it, it doesn't exist. If upper lip, looking slightly off to the side, just...
Thankfully,
She's gonna purposefully lean on Al while they're talking.
Thankfully, before they can torment you too much more, I want everyone to make an alertness roll with your choice of which, like, crew roll you're using.
Okay.
Which one is that?
Sorry, bumped my microphone.
That is an 11. Would I be able to add my observant to this?
Absolutely, yeah.
Lovely.
Is this anything that unassuming would help with?
No,
Espionage?
no.
Damn.
I got a 14 with alertness and thief.
Great,
Yeah.
16.
great.
11 with alertness and mastermind.
Mhm.
And
14 as well with alertness and hacker.
okay, which means all of you will catch as suddenly all of the church bells in this city begin to ring. And there is a moment where you're all like, what does that mean? And then Franklin will be the first to catch. Because suddenly you have a flashback to the night before where you hear, I've heard the Queen is sick. Hopefully she dies soon. And that's when you get someone catches a glimpse through a window and you see there is like a whole truck full of newspapers, like a hand truck of newspapers being handed out, and a kid standing up tall, like a very classic newsy shouting, the Empress has passed. The Empress has passed. The Crown Princess will be assuming the throne in 3 days. In 3 days, the coronation will begin. And all of you suddenly become aware that there is a very good distraction coming up very, very soon. Because the Queen is dead. Long live the Queen. And
dead.
that's why we're going to call it for today.
Nice.
I love it.
Was anyone's deadline less than 3 days?
No.
Or I guess 4 days? Okay, good.
I think we had, like, the shortest was like 1 week, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had a week.
Yeah. Cool. So that is where we'll end it today. Thank you all for coming and watching and commenting. We love when chat interacts. Thank you to all my players for playing. Having great fun with you guys. I'm Ren. I've been your GM. I use he/him pronouns. I am a writer and a game designer, and I'm currently in the middle of designing a module which is going to be put out fairly soon. If you're interested in eldritch horror in the 1950s, keep an eye out for the Copper Pyramid. Hopefully you enjoy it. But now I'm going to hand it off to all of my players. Let's all say our goodbyes.
Hey you all, I am Kate Purcell. I work in video games by day and do TTRPG stuff every moment I get. You can find me on the internets at KDamnFear or in chat, as you saw, at Chaotic Wholesome Presents, where we do lots of TTRPG stuff and APs, talk show, all that. I got to play Alderose. He, they. I'm she, they. Find me over at Chaotic Wholesome Presents playing Baldur's Gate 3 and doing the Table Talk Show. Sunday, on an unannounced channel, I'm going to be playing Sagas, which is going to be a really fun sci-fi game, which I am super hyped about. I have a bunch of other stuff coming, but none of it's, like, can talk about yet. So just find me on the twits. But you can also find me every other Wednesday at the Emergency Power Podcast, which is a homebrew Starfinder game. That's me. Thanks for running this. I've had fun.
Oh, hey, you lovely humans out there. My name is Keon, and I had an amazing game tonight, even though I had to deal with a little bit of X issues going on. If you're looking for me out there on the internet, you can find me at Brother Keon on all of the social medias. That is BRUTHAQUEON. Right now, I'm photographer, digital designer, all that lovely stuff. I'm currently in another mini-series that's running on Sundays over on the Batty Barge channel on Twitch, and that is a beach episode, which we are already dying. It's great. And I am also working on a TTRPG that I cannot talk about yet, but when I can, I can't wait to let you guys know about it. But yeah, I played Franklin, he, him pronouns, and yeah, it was great.
Hi there, my name's Jenny. I use she, they pronouns. You have probably seen me before on Nerdsmith. I've been here a lot. I just played Josie, or Rosie Josie, the mastermind behind this hopefully successful little tangent that we're going on. I had a ton of fun. You can find me on the internet at Cerulean Siren 19 on Twitter or Cerulean Siren 97 on Blue Sky. I am a voice actor, a editor, like script editor, as well as a character artist. So if there's anything you guys would like done, please feel free to message me. My commissions are open and I am open to new roles. However, I do need you to know that I am a teacher. It is the end of the school year and I am dying. So please be patient with me. I had a great time. I always have a great time with Ran, and these people are wonderful. Yeah, I'm really excited for next week.
Hi, everybody. I am Raven Evermore. I am a professional game master. I design tabletop games. I am a writer. I'm the anthology editor for Neon Devils. And I do voice acting and probably other things that I'm forgetting to mention at the moment. I have been playing Jinx, which was a ton of fun. She's a really interesting headspace to get into. But this has been a blast. Absolutely love what everybody's doing with their characters. You're all lovely and delightful. And I think that was just about it. Oh, I have a series of short stories. I write 1 to 2 every month called The Trash Pandas. That's over on my Coffee. It's about a group of 3 trans girls who are a punk band by day and vigilantes by night, essentially. It's very fun stuff. But yeah, that's me.
Great. So I'd just like to really quickly shout out again the network, Nerdsmith, for putting us on. So cool. We're really enjoying the game. All of our producers have been so great. I'd like to shout out our sponsors again. So Die Hard Dice, World Anvil, Hero Forge, have all been cool for sponsoring us. We really appreciate it. We'll be back next week at the same time. So Thursday nights for Americans and everybody else. Friday mornings for Australians and everyone over this side of things, which is Australia and New Zealand. It's just us.
No one else.
Yeah. Thank you all so much. Come back next week when they go to heist a bank. Possibly on the Queen's coronation day, or maybe at the Queen's funeral. We just don't know. Thank you all very much. Have a great week, and bye.